Hi everyone, I'm Nancy.
And I'm Stephanie.
And if you enjoy our show, please like and subscribe.
And hit that notification bell.
We're also on Instagram at TWiN, and you can also find us on X. So Meghan and Harry are going to Colombia. We think either tonight or tomorrow early morning they will arrive. We don't know for sure when they will touch down in Colombia, but we've already talked about how there's a travel advisory on the US State Department's website saying that it's very dangerous to go to Colombia right now. They are currently more concerned about the UK than they are about Colombia, who also shares a border with Venezuela. Harry is missing out on his uncle's funeral. As a result of this, he is not going to his mom's sister's husband's funeral, Lady Jane. Now, this is probably a good thing, because if William goes, the last thing I want to see is Harry there.
I'm sure William will go.
Yes. Yeah. It's all about his mom all the time. You'd think that he would be there for his fellow Spencer side of the family, but no, it's just way too dangerous. Let's go to Colombia instead. So let's talk about the government of Colombia. We researched it last night, so you don't have to. Their president, who got elected about 3 years ago, is the first far-left president of Colombia. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being on the left. But lately, he hasn't been doing very well with the government, which is usually the case when far-left people come into power and they want to turn the country into socialism. They want to make all the programs socialist. It's usually the road to dictatorship. Happened with Maduro, happened with Chavez, happened with Stalin, happened with Pol Pot. It's just, you know, luckily we have a blueprint of the past where we can go back and say, did this ever work? Did socialism ever work? No, it didn't. But they thought in Colombia, it's going to work this time. Well, unfortunately, it hasn't. So we found out yesterday that Meghan and Harry will be having a private meeting, not a public meeting, but a private meeting with the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro. Gustavo Petro used to be a Marxist guerrilla fighter. Now, when Petro was a guerrilla fighter, a Marxist guerrilla fighter, he was part of a group called M19, and they were responsible for many kidnappings and even murder. All this stuff is in the public domain, so it's not like I had to dig for this. This was actually very easy to find. In 1976, M19 kidnapped the union leader, Jose Raquel Mercado, who was president of the Confederation of Workers of Colombia, charged him with selling out the interest of Colombian workers to U.S. imperialism, and sentenced him to death. They did, in fact, end up killing him. They wrapped his body up in a plastic bag and threw him in the park. But Nancy and Stephanie, that was back in the 70s. I'm sure he's reformed since then. He's probably a really good president. I mean, he's a person of the people, right? Colombia's left-wing president is floundering. Just a year into his term, he's deeply unpopular. Colombia's president looks more lame duck than revolutionary. The leftist president wants to radically transform Colombia. He doesn't have the political strength to do it. Colombia's first leftist president faces economic struggles and legislative standstill. Colombia policies lurches chill investment, risk economic growth. Colombia President Gustavo Petro's track record of unpredictable policy lurches has contributed to a sharp drop in investment that is expected to continue this year, as some business owners complain strategic planning has become almost impossible. And this is what usually happens when you try to implement socialism. Small business owners, businesses in general, don't do well because you have government control of everything. They say, don't worry, we're all for the worker. Everyone should work equally. Nobody should, they don't believe in capitalism at all. Leftist Petro was elected in 2022, promising to reform healthcare, labor laws, and pension system, as well as fight poverty and raise taxes on high earners. Don't they all say that, Stephanie? But more than a dozen companies, executives, bank analysts, and industry associations told Reuters inconsistent policies in sectors ranging from housing to electricity were undermining investor confidence and hurting economic growth. This is exactly down the same road as Maduro in Venezuela, because Maduro was also the leftist president. Petros' proposed reforms to healthcare, labor rules, and pensions have also chilled potential investment, said Bruce McMaster. Not even a really crazy person would invest right now in building a hospital if they don't know how it's going to exist in the system. Sounds like two crazy people are going down there.
Makes sense now why someone would pay them to show their faces on a place that their economic growth is falling and they need the tourism to rise.
Yeah, it almost sounds like they're using Harry and Meghan as political pawns.
Wow.
So what normally happens, what turns leftist leaders into dictators, and like I said, we have a history book. We have a blueprint of every single dictator in history, and they always had good intentions. Socialism was their foundation. So I guess this president, his term is coming up. And it looks like, they're not going to vote him in again, including the vice president who invited Harry and Meghan. But we'll get to her after this. But what normal people do is they accept the fact that, okay, well, it's not going to work. It didn't work. I'm going to, let democracy do its thing. Oh, no, not with Petro. Colombian President Petros' dangerous constitutional plans. Halfway through his 4-year term, Colombian President Gustavo Petro wants to replace Colombia's constitution, possibly using some legally dubious methods to make this happen. Now, I can go on and on in this article, but basically it says that because he's not doing well and he doesn't think that he's going to win another term, he's going to just up and change the constitution.
Take out freedom of speech, things like that Americans want to do sometimes to us. I mean, it's just, just pluck things out.
Yeah.
Pluck things out you don't like.
Yeah. Change the whole Supreme Court. Do everything like that because it's just not working in our favor. Yeah. So that's usually what happens. So it doesn't surprise me that this guy is on the road to being a dictator fast.
It doesn't surprise me that Harry and Meghan are going to Colombia.
Yeah. The vice president of Colombia, she's the one that formally invited Harry and Meghan. Francia Marquez, who is not only the vice president of Colombia, she is also the minister of equity and equality. Sounds like a great idea. She wanted to bring back equality to Colombia. She wants to fight poverty. Like I said, all good intentions in the beginning. Now, unfortunately, the person that invited Harry and Meghan, turning out that this Ministry of Equality is just one big scam.
Wait a second. Is it like those restaurants in Times Square that say, hey guys, 50% off your food, and then you go in and it's marked up 100%?
Might be, Stephanie.
What?
Controversy has arisen in Colombia over the Ministry of Equality and Equity after less than a year and a half of operation. After recent complaints over its scarce activity and low budget expenditure, the justice system is now questioning its existence due to a formal defect. This was communicated yesterday, May 8th, by the Constitutional Court, arguing that the creation process of the ministry in 2023 undermined the fiscal impact. The High Court granted a term of 2 years to regulate this issue or eliminate the ministry headed by Vice President Francis Marquez. So basically what it's saying is, she wanted to do this. They gave them so much amount of money. They're like, here you go. Well, it turns out she's not implementing any of the social programs that she wanted to do. So now she needs 2 idiots to come from America and talk about how great this program is because she's got only a year left to show the Supreme Court of Colombia that this is a good project. And there was no funny business going on with the funds.
But that's what's so frustrating, too, is when they say royal visit. It's like this vice president is using the royal title as a way to make money and line our own pockets. And it's like we see this all the time in America. We see all these pay to plays all the time, but now Colombia's doing it.
Yeah.
I guess they are.
I knew there was something sneaky and shady going on because of all the places to go. Why Colombia? Why would you go to a place that shares the border with Venezuela and everything that's going on there too? And then I read how great it is and how progressive it is. And we got the first left-wing president. Colombia right now is a freaking mess. And obviously, the royals, they sent Sophie down there when the new government started a couple years ago, obviously to just show, you know, hey, we support you guys. You're the new government. Just like President Biden met with Petros 2 years ago.
Yes.
Hey, you know, this is but now
a phony royal tour?
The U.S. even said if he tries to change the constitution of Colombia, they can no longer support him. They said that. This is from the U.S. This is from the Biden administration. So what the heck is Harry and Meghan doing down there?
Because they're still the Duke and Duchess. People like that, when they're in a jam and they need money and they're getting no support from the people, this is desperate times, desperate measures. This is exactly what we're seeing right now. Harry and Meghan don't have anything and they don't have anything. So I guess we should join forces and see if we could get something out of it.
This is going to be such a disaster.
And do you think, because, I mean, Harry is still a royal. I mean, Harry can't get involved in politics there. So it's going to be interesting to see when they meet with him, what exactly is what they're going to say and what the outcome is going to be. And you're right, Nancy.
Now that you guys know this.
It's private, though. It's private.
It's going to be a private meeting, but just the fact that they're meeting with the president, a guy who's trying to change the constitution of Colombia right now because he's not getting his way, that's not a good thing.
Red flag.
Like I said, you guys can look this up for yourself. Reuters is the epitome of non-biased news. They are very neutral, and they are even saying TWiN decisions from Colombian courts deal blows to Petros' government. And it goes on to talk about the Ministry of Equality and Equity.
Like she's going to be dressing a lot more nakedly. He's going to be doing dumber things just to get the attention off of what politically they're doing there. Because if this is, again, involved in politics, then King Charles, or not King Charles, but who are they that strip the royal titles? Who are those people?
Parliament.
Parliament. Strip the royal titles from them. Take it away. They should not be going on these trips as royals. It doesn't work that way. They're non-political.
They shouldn't be going as Americans right now.
No, they shouldn't. I'm just saying in my head, they're still the Duke and Duchess.
Why don't you guys just hop the border and go say hi to Maduro while you're at it? I mean, he's changing the Constitution too. It's like, let's just do it, guys. I'm just saying, this is shady. I mean, this is shady.
We will pay attention. Don't worry. None of your low-cut tops are going to sway us from watching what you're doing, Megan. We see you. We see you. Today's animal rescue is Rough Start Underdog Rescue. This is a rescue in St. Croix in the Virgin Islands. They are having really nasty weather right now. So we really want to help the stray dogs, homeless dogs, the dogs that need veterinary care and everything that goes along with living on an island. And there are a lot of homeless dogs. So a lot of pregnant ones.
Yes. So Rough Start Underdog Rescue. Please go take a look at their website. I'll put their link in the description below. Share them with friends and family, and please give if you can. It really does make a difference.
And please spay and neuter your pets.
Yes.
So important, guys, especially if we're on islands like that with bad weather. Spay and neuter, spay and neuter.
Yes.
All right. Well, Colombia starts tomorrow.
Yep.
I feel like it's the Olympics.
I know.
Like, oh, it starts. The opening ceremonies are tomorrow. All right. Well, we will keep you posted. We'll be right here. We're only a 2-hour time difference because we're on the west coast of America. We will keep you posted on everything.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Love you.